A few weeks ago, Rossdraws got cancelled for allegedly using AI and for allegedly not paying his collaborators. Although in this video we are only going to touch the AI part, focusing on the implications in the industry and what it means for future artists. Let's get into it. If you're new here, hi, my name is Erika and I'm your trusted Italian artist and social media manager. I know this is not fresh new anymore, but life has been quite challenging as of late, so let's start with a quick recap in case you missed what happened. A while ago, Rossdraws' ex-collaborator Fenix Soul released a document exposing him, I don't like this word, but exposing him for allegedly using AI in his art account, but most importantly in his art book. Please don't go send hate to anybody involved in this story. I just want to talk and create a productive discussion about this topic and about the future of the industry as it seems right now. We say no to hate campaigns, okay? All good? Let's keep going. Fan wrote that Ross used AI to generate at least a few pieces in his new art book, and then he painted over them to make it look like it was not generated by AI, including the drawing that it is now his profile picture, allegedly. It does not sound that bad itself if it wasn't that Ross did not disclose that to anyone, and people thought that everything he made was 100% made by him. This is one of the drawings that fans showed to prove that Ross used AI. As you can see, there is some weird blending of the color of the skin, and also the hoodie ends weirdly in this point. So yeah, apparently this story keeps on giving, because since I recorded this video, a lot more stuff has been going on. Admittedly, Ross created a video defending himself from character assassination, and Fan came back and assassinated him even more. So now we have even more proof that Ross used AI in his work. And these are a few examples. Fan also provides a few leaked Discord messages where Ross is talking about how he generates hundreds of thousands of AI pictures, but he never disclosed what he used them for. Maybe it was just for inspiration, maybe he used them in his actual artworks. We don't know. In his apology statement, Ross admits to using AI, but only to experiment, and he ultimately decided to not use it in his art book because he wanted to be sure that all of his work that he was selling was entirely his. He also admits that in the past he posted 5 art pieces that were inspired by AI on his Instagram account without disclosing it. Whatever inspired by AI means, does it mean that he traced them? Does it mean that he just got inspiration? Does it mean that he actually used AI in his work? We don't know that. But ultimately, we don't have any proof that Ross used AI in his art book or in his Instagram art account, for the matter. And yeah, this lack of proof is another reason why we should not just go and start hate campaigns against people when somebody comes out with circumstantial evidence about them. Just a friendly reminder. Now, for the sake of the argument, let's suppose that Ross actually used AI in his art book. A big artist like him using AI raises some major concerns in the art community, especially when it comes to people that think they are supporting a real artist by buying his art book. On one side, I understand the pressure of the industry, how artists are pushed to produce more and more to stay relevant and to be relevant on social media. As a creator myself, I understand how exhausting it can be. And yeah, generative AI provides a very easy fix to that. On the other side, it feels selfish for a major artist like him to help creating and setting this impossible standard for new and emerging artists who might think that he's creating all of that himself in a very, very short amount of time. And let's be honest here, AI art is not going to affect Rossdraws and other established artists at this moment. People who have a very, very passionate audience who keeps coming back to their account. His technique is impeccable and he has a fun personality, so people are going to keep following him and watch his video. He might have maybe some losses in his income, but he's probably going to be fine on a short, medium term. In truth, AI is mostly going to affect the next generation of artists, who is right now approaching an art world where the entry barrier has been increased dramatically. Not only there are fewer entry-level jobs where they can gather experience in, but also the use of generative AI is becoming very, very normal. People are already getting used to having professional-looking artworks just by typing a few words in a chat. The average Joe does not understand the time and effort needed to learn art, nor he understands why sometimes generative art looks more appealing than real art. I'm telling you a secret, it is because of theft. The average Joe does not understand the value of art. It should have been up to the global institutions to protect artists from this mass theft. But unfortunately, they failed us. And boy, don't even get me started on this. Some other Joes instead are pro-AI, and they love to argue that AI is democratic because it's finally giving the skills to everyone and not gatekept by the snob artists. Sure. Gatekeeping. Bro, if you want to learn, there is tools literally everywhere. Free tools literally everywhere. There is no excuse to not try. Nobody's gatekeeping anything. And yeah, they say that now even the poor can make art. Isn't that great? But is it true? Let's try to look at it logically. Let's start with the fact that a piece of paper and a pencil are not very expensive. But then again, if you want to properly learn how to create something with AI that is consistent and that makes sense and maybe even work in the future using AI, you need to generate a lot of images. You need to try, make mistakes, try again. And most, if not all AI platforms, or at least the best one where you can create the most visually appealing pieces, are paid. You need to pay a monthly fee. So you might as well use that money to buy tools and learn how to draw instead of paying a monthly fee. So it's still not great for people that need the money to survive. Both cases, you need money. Then again, learning how to use AI will not give you the possibility of pursuing a serious art career. But if you want to work in a company or in the art industry or in the video game industry for the matter, you need to have the art skills. You need to know the art fundamentals. Companies need you to be able to create what they want. If they want a certain result, and the AI is not generating it for you, you need as an artist to be able to put them together. You need to overpaint them, know the lights, the shadows, the perspective. You need to create an art piece that makes sense in the overall project. Otherwise, you are useless to them. Yeah, the average Joe might get access to art more easily, but you're definitely not getting the skills while asking a computer to generate for you. You are basically just commissioning the company that created the AI to make something for you. The truth is, AI appears democratic only on the surface, while the reality is quite the opposite. The only entities who are actually profiting from AI are the companies who own them and created them. A few days ago, I found a tweet that I'm not sure I can find again, but it said something like, AI gives companies the possibility to profit from the skills of the artist, while taking away from the artist the possibility to profit from their own skills. And if that ain't the whole point. The average AI creator is not going to profit from AI, or maybe they're going to profit from it a little bit if they create a product. But that's not where the real profit is. We have seen that when China launched DeepSeek, how the stock of the major tech and AI companies suddenly plummeted. The profit of a single person with a lot of AI competition is nothing compared to this. So when we know this, who is going to actually suffer the most from the indiscriminate use of AI? Right now, it's artists. But soon it will be all the people who are going to lose their job to AI. It's all the workers and the poor that AI is supposedly helping. But yeah, this is enough of a tangent. Let's circle back to art for a second. I find it so funny how AI bros keep diminishing the art value when our world is so based on entertainment. From movies to video games to music, there are all different kinds of art where human artists have been contributing forever. And if you thought the movies from recent years where companies were only thinking about profit were bad, wait a second until they start also saving on the actual human talent. I'm sure we will have such masterpieces in the future. And speaking of which, while I was scripting this video, the whole Ghibli theft from ChatGPT debacle happened. In case you missed it, ChatGPT released an update where you could very easily transform yourself in the style of different IPs, including The Simpsons, The Muppets, and the Ghibli studio. What I'm wondering about this, isn't this a blatant violation of copyright? Like, you can fully access this feature only when you pay the ChatGPT full plan, which means ChatGPT is openly profiting from the art of these studios, from their art style. Isn't that violation of copyright? Isn't that illegal? Like, how it is that I, as a small artist, cannot sell fan art, otherwise they're going to take down my shop, but these companies can profit from the IPs. I cannot profit from the IPs, but they can profit from the IPs. Is law only applying to single people and small artists? Am I missing something? Yeah, I don't know about law, but this does not sound legal to me. In any case, this is also a blatant disrespect of Miyazaki's wish of not having anything to do with AI. The guy does not like AI and think it's an abomination. And then, yeah, here you are, you claim your favorite movie is one of the Ghibli movies, and yet you don't care at all. Yeah, I understand how cute it is to have your wedding pictures turned into the style of your favorite movie. But you could, I don't know, pay an artist to do it. For example, this is a commission that I did a few years ago where a family asked me to draw them in a Lilo and Stitch style because they loved the movie. It was very fun to do, they loved it, and it was quite cheap because I was a beginner artist. The thing is, even if it's free, you are paying either way. Either with real cash in case you're paying for the fancy plan, or with your likeness, your personal information, and helping these gigantic companies train their AIs. Oh, and don't forget that generating that one AI image used as much energy as charging your phone completely once. You give me your personal information and you get no job and the world on fire. This is what I call success. Okay, I need to calm down.
I need to calm down. Everything's fine.
Amanda.
I'm an adult.
Okay, so we established that using AI art is not very good. But at the same time, I think we should not go to witch hunts to find all the artists who are using AI in their work. As we said before, for us, you never know for sure if an artist used AI in their work. This only brings to situations where real artists are accused of using AI when they actually didn't, which I've already seen a few times. And also this kind of attitude is just want to make new and emerging artists not want to share their work on social media, especially artists whose style could be confused with AI style. In my life online, I've already seen too many creatives being bullied out of communities with unwarranted hate campaigns. For example, I've seen that in fandoms. And it's so sad when it happens because we are losing the possibility to enjoy the art of this person. And I don't want to see it happen more in the future because of these witch hunts. Recently, I've even seen artists being pressured into sharing their PSD files because some people didn't believe their speed paints were real, so they wanted more proof. Yeah, that's a no-no. If you're an artist, never send your PSD files or your raw files to anyone. First of all, they could steal them, and second of all, they could use them to train AI to make speed paints that look more realistic, and that's the last thing that we want, okay? And the last reason why we don't want witch hunts is that artists that use AI in their work will go into hiding, and we don't want that because ideally in the future we will have more transparency so we can create realistic expectation about what is possible with human art and what is possible with AI and what is possible combining them. Transparency will also help us support real artists in a world where generative AI will definitely be normalized. And normalizing is already happening, as I realized that major companies are already asking their employees to use AI in their work. The other day, for example, I sent unsuccessfully but I was expecting that. I sent unsuccessfully my CV to Paradox, which are the people that create the game City Skylines. Super famous game. But yeah, one of the first questions that they ask you on their website when you apply for Paradox is how are you using AI in your workflow to speed up and optimize your work? Yay! This is unfortunately how it is right now and how it will be more and more in the future. The reality is that unfortunately in the future, with less jobs and more competition, if we want to keep being hireable as artists, we might need to optimize our workflow, and that can include also the use of AI. For example, I can see how concept artists can use AI in their work, like they were using photo bashing before they were taking a photo and just taking pieces of it and putting it in an artwork. Well, they can do the exact same thing with an AI-generated piece. And I already heard of artists who trained a certain AI to generate a piece with their own art style. So this artist can then sketch something, feed it to the AI, and then they will have kind of a finished piece where they would just need to adjust a few things or overpaint it to make it better. This cuts the production cost by a lot, and companies will just need to hire less artists to do the same job. And that is just how a capitalist society works. I'm just thinking about my first job in the video game industry when I was drawing backgrounds like this. My company had 3 to 4 artists working on these backgrounds, and it would take us multiple days starting from nothing to completely finish one. Today you could quickly create a sketch, then quickly create a 3D model positioning all the objects in the right place, feed it to the AI, and then it will be kind of done. Probably you need to fix a few things to make it sure that the UI doesn't overlay with the wrong objects and maybe change something in, I don't know, the lighting. But that means that one artist will be able to do the job that all of these 4 artists were doing before. This is quite scary, I am not gonna lie. And thinking about how this is gonna happen for most industries worldwide. Although maybe when it comes to extremely skilled jobs, there might be less competition in the future. I am just trying to reason, I don't know. When there are less jobs, generally less people try to go for that job. But also the next generation is kinda growing submerged in instant gratification and being able to do everything in a second, not needing to reason or work hard to achieve a certain result. Being able to learn, think critically, work hard are all skills where you need to practice to learn them. And this might actually become a rarer trait in the future, which means probably less people are going to be able to achieve a very high artistic level. This is not positive in any way, mind you. I'm just trying to think about all the possibilities with the informations that we have right now. And I hope I don't sound like a boomer, like back in my days we knew how to work hard. It's really not like that, but if you think how my generation is not able to do mind calculations because we grew up with calculators, while past generation could easily do them in their mind because they trained how to do it, well, maybe it will be similar to that. On the positive side, it is true though that every time there is a major technological revolution in the world, we lose a lot of jobs, but we also get other jobs that nobody would have imagined before. For example, the Industrial Revolution took away jobs from the artisans, but at the same time created figures like the product designer or the interior designer. While the introduction of photography took away the jobs of portrait artists, but at the same time created the job of the photographers and then the videographer and the whole movie industry. One thing we know for sure though is that AI is something we have never seen before, and we cannot give up on trying to regulate it for ourselves as artists and for future artists of future generations. We need recognition and compensation of all artists whose work has been used to train this AI without our consent. We want AI to do boring and dangerous jobs so we can work less and have a more balanced life. We don't want AI to do all the creative jobs while we are all unemployed. And what we know, unfortunately, is that we will need to work for that. If we leave it up to the society as it is now, these companies are not gonna give it to us. Well, in this video I went through a lot of topics and a little bit of politics because these two topics are very intertwined. Art has always been very political. But if you want to know more, while I think generative AI is a very touchy and complicated subject, I think using ArtSheet in your artwork is perfectly fine. If you want to know why I think that, you can check out this video right here. That is all for today. Ciao ciao ragazzi! Our strength as artists in the future will be our humanity, our ability to storytell, be relatable, and connect to others. Let's keep that in mind and let's invest on that.